Well, we might have a little Kenny Pelly. Kenny Pelly. Kenny Pelly. Penny Kelly. Hit. I don't even know if this is a hit in the making. This is already a hit, I think. One of her look-sees. Remember what she said a while back? New York. I think she even named it by state. New York and states like it, I think she said, will be an exodus of people who no longer accept what is happening with lockdowns and the crazy liberal left crap that's going on. They've had enough. They'll be fleeing, she said. Well, there's a Zero Hedge article, which is basically a Sovereign Man article initially. So I'm going to actually go to the main site and, well, or maybe I'm not. Because that takes us right to their silver and gold guide. Anyways, it talks about from the 1650s and da 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 da. We're just gonna get kind of to the meat and potatoes here. I'll just start right here. New Amsterdam was later renamed New York, but it kept the freewheeling entrepreneurial culture. It was these values of freedom, tolerance, and a full embrace of capitalism that made it the wealthiest city in the world. Today, New York City has totally reversed course. Its city's leadership openly attacks talented people and productive businesses, and its politicians have embraced Marxism. Just think back to what happened last year with Amazon's headquarters, which would have brought 25,000 high-paying jobs and $500 million in yearly tax revenue to the city. Amazon was chased out by Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, also known as AOC, and her merry band of Bolsheviks. And they celebrated as if it were a victory. It wasn't just Amazon either. New York has been losing residents for years, and that was before COVID-19. Then New York City became one of the worst places in the world to be locked down. No freedom, no movement, and ridiculous rents for a shoebox apartment that you couldn't even leave. Now the city says it will not allow large events until at least October. Of course, that ban won't apply to protesters and rioters. Another great reason to get out of New York City. Many people are working from home now anyways, so any work-related reason for you staying in New York City has evaporated. Here's the big one right here. According to data from the New York Times, the richest neighborhoods in New York City saw an exodus of about 40% of residents since the COVID pandemic hit. 40% of the residents, mass exodus, I'm out of here, since Corona hit. Gone. Boom. See ya. Out of here. Crazy. That's compared to lower and middle income neighborhoods, where fewer than 10% of the residents have left. Well, why is that? Lower income. They probably can't afford to move. Where am I going to get my job? I don't know how I can work from home. Right? So you're stuck in that filth city now. That's a liberal hellhole now. Run by a liberal, of course. Overall, about 5% of the New York City population, over 400,000 people, have left since the coronavirus lockdowns began. And most of those were high-income earners. Now, I will say there's a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel for those of us who, I don't know, pay attention. Those of us on the right. My wife knows a real liberal Democrat. And her daughter, she's one of the ones, first of all, that posted all this crap on Facebook, and everyone's like, oh my God. You know, you try to say one thing, oh my God. They said, we're leaving Florida, we're going to New York. My daughter wants to learn how to, or she is a dancer, and we want to just, they only have one daughter, so let's, go up there and make her dreams come true. So they moved up there. It wasn't too awfully long they were up there, and maybe a year, and then the corona hits. And guess who came back to Florida? The liberal policies in New York City were a little bit too much. And of course, the scare factor. Let's not forget the scare factor too. And they came back to Florida temporarily until things pass. Manhattan housing vacancy is at a 14-year high, and new leases are down 62% from the same exact time last year. 62%. This is a major emerging trend, and not just for New York City. Concrete jungles where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do out there in New York, New York, New York. Excuse me. Magic 8 Ball. Can you still make your dreams come true in New York City? Concrete jungle where dreams are made of? Is that still the case nowadays? It is decidedly so. Turn around. Turn around and go back. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Magic 8 Ball says so. This is a major emerging trend, and not just for New York City. Data from the real estate website Redfin does show that New York City is the #1 destination people want out of right now. But where's the other place that I tell y'all to get the hell out of? California. But San Francisco and Los Angeles aren't far behind. This is again. This is before COVID hit, and I didn't say, "Oh, you gotta get out of California. You gotta get the hell out of there because Corona coming." No. But I see the liberal policies. I see what they're doing, and now we really see what they like to do with their boot on the back of your neck in the name of safety and health. Redfin also reports record numbers of people searching for real estate outside of their current metro area. They've seen an 87% increase in people searching for homes in suburbs with a population smaller than 50,000. Of course, a lot of these people are still on the fence. They are thinking and dreaming of escaping to a sunny state with no income tax like Florida or Texas. You know, if y'all got those liberal nonsense Democrat policies, we don't want y'all over here. The last thing we need is you putting in your nonsense policies in our beautiful states with no income tax, because then we'll be paying some income tax. A bunch of illegals will be coming over here, and you'll be telling us all about diversity and blah, 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 blah. And then I have to remind you, what was the reason you left again to come over here? Oh, right. Of course, a lot of these people are still on the fence. They are thinking and dreaming of escaping to a sunny state with no income tax like Florida and Texas. All it would take is a second wave of lockdowns to push them over the edge. Well, that's an amazing statement you just made there, sir. Because I heard such a thing's coming a little later this year. Right now, it makes a lot of sense. Anyone who can work from home is highly mobile. And moving to a new state can bring huge savings, lower taxes, lower cost of living, etc. And don't forget about Puerto Rico, where qualifying residents can be entirely exempt from U.S. federal income tax and reduce their total tax rate to just 4%. What the hell am I doing looking over New Mexico right now? Oh, that's right. I do some treasure hunting from time to time. Yeah. All right. I'm sure these folks, or these New York politicians like AOC, will celebrate that their Bolshevik policies continue to chase out productive people and businesses. But it just so happens that the richest 5% of New York City's population pays over 60% of income taxes in the city. So remember that number I gave you earlier about the wealthiest places leaving? 40%. Exodus of about 40% of residents. And they're from the richest neighborhoods in New York City? Remember that story I love telling? New Jersey, another income tax state. One rich person, I think it was a wealth fund manager, said, "I've had enough of the taxes. I can't take it anymore." And I think he moved to Florida. It was either Texas or Florida, but I think it was Florida. And said, "I've had enough. Why am I giving away so much of my money, my company's money? I could go to Florida and not have to give that away. It's a massive amount of money. I'm leaving." The governor, the politicians, they had to rewrite the budget because that one man left. It hurt them that bad. And we've got 40% of the richest neighborhoods leaving New York City. And as I said, the population pays over the richest 5% pay the upwards of 60% of the income taxes for the city. Well, I know Donald Trump left too. Remember, he moved out. I'm going to stay in Florida now. Bye-bye. Just one of these high-earning New Yorkers paid about as much taxes as 196 median-earning New Yorkers and thousands of lower-income residents. So, go figure, these politicians seem completely clueless that they're chasing away more than half of their tax base It's another victory for American Marxism. On another note, we think gold could double and silver could increase by 5 times in the next few years. That's why we published a new 50-page long ultimate guide on gold and silver that you can download here. Which, again, I'll link you to the Zero Hedge article. And if you want to go check out the Sovereign Man, or nobody calls himself the Sovereign Man, Simon Black, read the Sovereign Man. Have at it. Take care.